Hello, my friends. Once again, welcome to the Marty Smith podcast. I am here in Ocean City, New Jersey at Ocean City Coffee Company. My great friends here allow me to broadcast. Is it a broadcast? Podcast? What the hell? Podcast from here every week. And I'm grateful. Wesley's in. Oh, I just spilled my coffee all over myself. That's a big win. Good thing that there's more right behind me. Wesley's in.
Was it hot coffee?
Athens, Georgia. And hold on just a minute, my friends. Our guest has just texted me and asked me to send the link that he needs today to his email rather than his text. Travis, I informed him that if he used his telephone that he would have to download some fancy pants app. And so I imagine he's going to use his computer instead.
Oh, that was cute.
Okay, now I have emailed Chase Elliott, Nascar superstar. He's winning at a great clip right now. He just won at home in West Blankenship's backyard at the Atlanta Motor Speedway in Hampton, Georgia. And I can't wait to talk to Chase about this. He said something post-race, and I'll broach this with him when we get there. But I felt like it was such a poignant thing to say. What are y'all laughing at?
Travis is going to have to blur this child's out, this face out of the
It's
background.
all right, man. She's partying. It don't matter.
These little kids.
We make people sign
No, I
waivers
love
when
it.
they
I
come
love
in here
it.
to get their coffee so that they can be on the Marty Smith podcast here at Outsider. He said something super poignant, and that is, you can dream something when you're a little guy. And Chase Elliott grew up dreaming. He started his career in the bull ring at Atlanta Motor Speedway running bandoleros, okay? And he would sit there and look at the big track and think that is unattainable. That is impossible to get. And that's only my heroes get to do that. And my daddy gets to do that. And now he gets to do it. And so you can't encapsulate or understand what that dream is until you actually achieve it. And now, like, he even used the word disservice. He felt like post-race it would be a disservice to try to articulate what that felt like and what that moment was. But now he's had, 36 hours or so as we tape this to process what happened. I bet he's climbed a couple blue mountains over the past couple nights with some cold Coors Lights. And so I can't wait to chat with him about it. Look, I mean, Wes, could the year of the dog just end already?
I know y'all are tired of it, but it is going to continue. And it's even spread itself over onto young Travis Rockhold's T-shirt today with a young Chipper Jones spanning the breastplate.
All right.
Check it out.
So, but I have a question for you, Wes, and I think Georgia fans might want to be a little worrisome. Is Chase is all this winning that Chase doing going to steal from the other teams?
I don't think so.
He's bringing the wins in. The sports gods could maybe look at it and go, all right, they've had enough because Chase has won this many times.
Georgia won 14 games
Georgia has
last
to
year,
lose
Travis.
now.
Let me tell you something,
What are we
Travis.
talking about? The Braves
but I'm
won
just-
like 100.
I'm just saying,
As
like,
it
could
relates
fall
to
off
the
because
sports
Chase is stealing
gods
all these
in
wins.
this neck of the woods, we've chosen a new religion. We're done with those old sports gods because we're cooking down here, man. The Braves are about to steal the division from the Mets in the tightest race in all of Major League Baseball. The Dawgs are about to shock the world and make it back to the college football playoff. Just get ready. I'm not saying they'll win the Natty again. That's really hard to do. But just get ready, man.
It is very hard to do, but man, they look good. I've been studying a lot. We got SEC Media Days coming up next week. I head down to Atlanta on Sunday evening, and we'll be firing away Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, all 14 coaches, and a whole bunch of players are going to come, and I can't wait to chat with those guys. Once July 4th comes and goes, it's my favorite day of the year. It's the greatest day of the year, but it feels like as soon as July 4th is over, like my summer's over. It's time to start studying really intently these college football teams, make sure that we're prepared, because every year McGee and I interview these coaches, and we have a blast, and it's fun and funny. But in this moment in college athletics that is so different and unique, and you got Brian Kelly coming into the SEC down in Baton Rouge, and everything that comes with that,
My
including a brand
family.
new accent. Which I mean, what's question one when you're interviewing Brian Kelly? It's got to be that. Like, what what was that? Where did it come from? How did it happen? Because inquiring minds want to know nationwide. I mean, everybody wants to know. And I really like Coach Kelly, man. I had an awesome conversation with him a couple years ago when Notre Dame made the college football playoff. I went up to South Bend and spent an entire day with him and his program. And like, when you see what a different personality he has from the guy that we knew when he first got to Notre Dame, was angry and yelling and red-faced and frustrated. And now he has a completely different approach. And I love the why. The why is we spend way too much time in these football offices. We spend way too much time working and preparing to be great and meeting the standard that we're supposed to meet at Notre Dame. So you can't be pissed off all the time or you're just going to hate every bit of it. So he started going into the training room and throwing his arm around his players and asking about them and their families. And I'm going to ask him about that when we get to media days. I want him to recount that story for me because I thought it was such a cool revelation and introspection by him. But anyway,
They're throwing him right into the
digress.
fire, aren't they? Day one, pick one.
Number one, day one, number one.
And he's on the same day as Lane Kiffin and Eli Drink, baby. They're going to be roasting him.
He'll be just fine. He'll be just fine. Yeah, Kiff. Kiff is going to be locked and loaded and ready to go with everything that's going on with how much players are reportedly making to come to various schools and this and that. But
I think putting Lane early is a mistake, though, by the SEC because you need Lane to be able to take in all what the other coaches are saying and what's happening and
I
let
think
him
it's
then
by
react at
design.
the podium.
I think it's for that very reason, Travis. I think it's by design.
Well, who's the closer? Oh, look at the closer, Jimbo.
I can't wait to talk about this stuff. I mean, I am so excited for this football
I don't want you to
season.
ruin everything you've studied for because I know you're still preparing and I know you still have a lot to build up to, but I mean, this schedule is pretty great. I'm only going to be up there on Wednesday for Kirby, but he's got Sam. I mean, they're going to be having a good old time together, the Sam and Kirby reunion. And
I can't
then
wait.
Billy Napier and Mark Stoops will also be that day.
And Billy's Cruton. I mean,
Yeah, he is.
I think Billy is. If I was a Florida Gator fan, I would be like, great. Like, this is a guy who is all about ball. It's all about ball. It's about recruiting. It's about grinding. And listen, when you make Louisiana a championship caliber group in their conference, you're doing something really special. And
Well, he kind of had
did
his
that.
own like Tim Tebow after Ole Miss moment where he made that statement and he said, we got to double down. We're going to recruit and we're going to get to business. And that's what they've done. And there's a lot of whining from Florida fans. Why aren't we getting better recruits? Why aren't we getting better recruits? And then they've, railed off like 4-star, 5-star, 4-star. So he's getting after it.
Going back to Kelly, same thing for Coach Kelly. There was a lot of narrative in and around Baton Rouge. Oh, he's not recruiting great. We're like 40th in the rankings at LSU. We're not recruiting in-state kids, la, la, la. They got a couple studs coming in, or who committed, at least. And so now I think they're all the way up to 8th or so on the overall list. But anyway.
And for Napier, Florida is the hardest state to recruit because those kids are. It's different down there in Florida. So every school's going down to Florida to try to get some recruits. So it's the hardest area to recruit. So what he's doing so far has
Honestly,
been amazing.
people who knew him, and I remember meeting Billy when he was on Nick Saban's staff at Alabama, and really being taken in chatting with him just about the head down, eyes up, ball, and more ball. And I look forward to seeing what he can do because right now, I mean, the SEC East is the Bulldogs' playground. But there is some momentum in that side of the league, though. I mean, even though Georgia's the standard, Tennessee is going to be better, and I know that we say that every year, and Travis is rolling his eyes right now, but I think they're going to be better. I think South Carolina's going to be better. They got, if you're Shane Beamer, okay, and you're bringing in Spencer Rattler, the number one thing you need is if you got a quarterback, you got a chance. And not only does he have a talented player, he's got a kid with a lot to prove. I mean, if you remember this time last year, gentlemen, who was the leader in the clubhouse to win the Heisman Trophy? It was Spencer Rattler at the University of Oklahoma. And so, not only is he a talented young man, but he's pissed off, and he has a built-in relationship with Shane. So I just feel like, from their Oklahoma days. So it's going to be fun, man. I just can't wait to get down there. I want to say this, too, before I think Chase is going to be joining us here real shortly, but Travis has old Chipper Jones on his T-shirt there. Wesley, have you listened to Luke Combs' new record yet?
I have. Yep, he's got the Chipper shoutout, which I love.
I love that whole song. Used to wish I was. I mean, it's so good because we spend so much time in this life comparing ourselves to other people. We spend so much time going, man, I wish I had that, or I wish I was that. And it's a cool reminder that, hey, we're good.
Used to hit him like Chipper did, but I swung it just a little too slow.
The record's amazing. And I waited probably 4 or 5 days to reach out to him and share with him my thoughts on the album, because I wanted to listen to it sober. I wanted to listen to it hammered. I wanted to listen to it on the beach. I wanted to listen to it in my truck. I don't like I can listen to things in a whole bunch of different places, but I hear it. I hear it when I'm in my pickup truck.
Is that your favorite place to listen to music?
Yes. It's the place where, especially when I'm by myself, it's the place where I really, really hear what's being said. And the record's amazing. I'm thrilled for him. I
listened to it on the drive back from our Nashville show. And it I don't know, man. I think there's something about that windshield time that makes it sink in. You don't have any other distractions other than, people on the highway. But I think that's when you hear albums the clearest.
He also has this song on there that I mean, if he didn't write it about Parisburg, Virginia, I mean, I'm so growing up in the middle of nowhere. It's funny. I spent my whole youth thinking about getting out. So I have massive aspirations and massive dreams, and I just want to go see the world, and I want to achieve. I had grandiose dreams, and I was fearless to chasing it. But now in my mid-40s, I find myself so taken by the nostalgia of growing up simply and how beautiful that was. And the second song on the record is Any Given Friday. And it is quite literally what we did. I mean, he's talking about, I don't know the exact lyrics yet, but it's like, boys chase girls going 30 mile an hour, circle up at the Dairy Queen. I mean, that's exactly what we did. When you got your license, you cruised Hardee's. That was what you did. You cruised Hardee's, and if you happened to scrape together a few cents, you might, and it was a Peach Shake season.
Ours was the
you
quick
might be able
trip.
to sneak in there and get you a Peach Shake.
Here's the lyrics. Boys chase girls going 30 miles an hour, circle up at the Dairy Queen. Later on, the wild gets louder, like a rural route movie scene. In the nowhere dust, falling in love underneath an endless sky. Pick a map, dot town. That's how it goes down on any given Friday night.
That sounded exactly like Luke Combs, Travis. Great job.
You're telling me.
So.
I like Middle of Somewhere. It's kind of got a similar vibe. It's just a little bit more serious, I guess. I mean, I didn't grow up in a town like that. I grew up in the suburbs, Gwinnett County, outside of Atlanta. But my first job out of college was in Macon, and we cover, Warner Robins, where Jake Fromm grew up. And I just related to that time of my life when I hear that song, because when you talk about a place being the middle of somewhere. Like, there are people there that have real stories and have real lives. And that was my first true exposure to living in a place like that for several years. And he just has a way of writing and singing with his emotions in a way that actually bring you back to those places. So it's a great album.
He also writes with guys who that's their life. I mean, I know almost everybody that he writes with on a regular basis personally. And I know how and where those guys grew up. I mean, Ray Fulcher is an alumnus of this podcast. And he, when those guys moved to town, they met, or they reconnected, and just had such a like-minded thought process about how and what they wanted to write. And it was so foreign to Nashville at the time. The sound was, and the lyrics were, and they just, it struck a chord, as it were, with the listenership, and they've just continued that. And I mean, look, when you look at what this latest album is, Growing Up, if you guys don't have it, make sure you get it or you stream it, because it's great. And I think Morgan Wallen was number one for 63 consecutive weeks. I think his record, Dangerous, was number one that long. And Luke supplanted him at the top of the album chart in country music. And you talk about generational records. I mean, Morgan's is a generational record. He's a great dude on top of it all. Again, he's another guy who's taken the time to come on the podcast. We were going to try to get him on here real soon and just kind of break down the record song by song. Look, I know, having spoken with him, the time and the effort and how meticulous they were about how it sounded sonically, about every single word that they wrote. And so, I can't imagine how those guys feel. I've had the conversation with Church before. I've had the conversation with some other friends of mine before about when there's a certain expectation for you, and when there's an expectation that what you're doing is better than what you've done. That's a damn hard standard to live up to. Like, really, really hard to have this historic body of work. When your first 12, 13 singles, Travis, look it up. I think it was Luke's first 12 singles, but it might be 13. When everything you've ever done and released was a number one song, which is an historic achievement in the hundreds of years
13
of country. 13 singles. First 13 songs that you put on the damn radio go number one. I mean, how do you continue that?
I'd stop.
And
I would
even
just
though
quit.
Right. I mean, obviously, and he has a pen. He has a pen in every one of those songs. And so when you're not only the recording artist, but you're also a singer. There's my sister-in-law. Hey. Hi. And my nephew. Hi, buddy. Anyway, it's a really hard standard, that you got to live up to. And so that, even though he's a super laid-back guy, that's got to put some pressure on you, even if you try to pretend like it doesn't. So I look forward to chatting with him about that here in the coming weeks. I think he definitely wants to come on and spend some time with us, so I'll try to get him on.
Hey, how's everybody doing after the 4th? We got all of our fingers and toes. Everyone do all right? Marty, did you light anything up?
We made it through unscathed, but I'm a little concerned because here coming up this weekend, boys, I once again have been roped into playing in a charity basketball tournament.
Oh, no.
Oh, my gosh,
last
dude.
Year,
you should start, stretching right now.
I know. It's Saturday morning.
Limber up.
I am already stretching. I feel like my physical fitness level is fine. We played a couple days of half court, just trying to make sure that all the stuff still moves properly and that, you can still dribble the basketball and maybe make a layup. But last year, when we were playing. We had the first game. Okay, it was 9 o'clock in the morning, and we're playing against this team. And I was playing really well right off the jump. I mean, I think I had 8 points in the first. Yeah, like I had Chase just texted and said he's trying to get in now. So Travis, be on the lookout. So I scored a bunch of points early, and then I went to go by this guy. I almost used the term, I went to blow by this guy, but I'm 45 years old, so I'm not really like blowing by.
Yeah, that's not an adjective. Is that an or a verb? That'd be a verb.
I pulled my groin
No.
when I went to drive by this dude. And I yelled a bunch of expletives, and I tried to walk it off. And I was just useless. Like I kept playing the rest of the day, but like Achilles and groin are like the worst two things you could hurt, I think. And so, I mean, I was useless the rest of the day. And we're the oldest team out there. They had this kid.
What's your team name?
We played the purple team. We were the red team. I think we had a team, but they probably gave us the red jerseys to match my neck up here. They all, I don't sound like them up here. But there was this kid on the purple team, and I should know his name. I mean, he posterized me, but
his name's probably
like,
Anthony.
He was like 6'9", long, 18 years old, athletic as all hell. And we're sitting here going like, what's this guy doing in this tournament? Like, he shouldn't be in this tournament. Well, we turned the ball over. Hello, Senator. Can you hear me?
Hey there, guy. I like that hat.
Ladies and gentlemen, when I got on this morning to start running my pie hole, Travis goes, dude, that way to wear the night hat. And I was like, shit, we're gonna tell Chase that was on purpose.
Yes, that's what I'm going with.
I'm gonna tell Chase that was on purpose. We got Wes here, brother. Travis is here, and both of you two clowns know who my brother from another is down there. Like, let me finish telling my old man athletic story real quick. All right.
Go ahead.
So, we're in this basketball tournament, Chase, last summer, which I'm participating again on Saturday. And being 45 years old, it's a real bad plan when you try to like blow by somebody because your groin just goes, well, F you can't do that anymore. And anyway, we're playing against this team, the purple team, and they had this kid who was super long and athletic and tall. And I'm like, what the hell is this guy doing in this tournament? Well, we turned the ball over for the 46th time in the game, and they have a run out. Well, I decide I'm going to go back and like try to play defense. So they throw this lob, and this kid like just hammers it right in my face, and like his stuff hits me right in the side of the face and the whole thing. And I find out later that he was on a full scholarship to Temple University to play basketball.
See, he shouldn't be allowed in this thing.
In a conference game last year, this dude went for 40.
He should not be allowed.
And the Temple University basketball program tweeted it at me just to rub it in that he had put his stuff in my face.
Is he coming back?
Anyway.
Is he playing in this one?
I hope not. I'm actually saying prayers.
You need to channel Kenny Rogers in that Michael Jordan charity tournament in the 80s. That's what you need to go in with that mindset, and you will just blast everybody.
We'll talk about this in a minute, but if Chase, if you've seen this, you can weigh in. Have you guys ever seen the video, the YouTube video of there was like a WWF and NASCAR pickup basketball or like charity basketball game where Dale Earnhardt has on some cut off jorts, and Dusty Rhodes is like wearing a singlet trying to cross up. Like, have you ever seen this video?
I've never seen it.
No, I haven't seen that one.
You got. I'll have to find it and text it to you guys. All right, let's get
What's up, Chase? We're actually going to talk to you.
Our guest. I mean, we got to start with whatever in the hell has grown on your upper lip.
Hey, I've had mixed reviews. I didn't really know if it was going to stick around, but after our performance Sunday, I feel like I might have to keep it.
Is that a Top Gun thing? Is it related to the film, or are you just feeling it?
Yeah, I feel like stashes are in right now. I mean, I think a lot of that comes from Top Gun, you know. So I had I don't know that I would call it a beard, but I had my facial hair grown out, whatever that means, here lately. And I just felt like the opportunity was there. If I was going to do it, I was going to do it. And I got to shaving, and I left it on there, and I was like, I think I'm ready to start flying. Like, I think I'm ready to go hop in F-16 and get after it. So
I mean, I'm telling you, you and old Rooster could be brothers. Like, there's a very strong resemblance between Rooster and Chase Elliott, especially when you got that lip fur crawling all over top of your upper lip.
yeah, I've heard that from a few people, so I'm gonna take that as a major compliment. After performance?
Are you superstitious?
I'm really not. But I think I'm gonna ride the wave. I mean, I feel like, stashes are in. Dub on Sunday. Stash game is, I don't know that it's strong, but it's about as good as I can do.
I'd say it's better than probably 60% of most American men. I think it works.
Better than 60?
Yeah. I think it's in the upper half.
Then I'm good. I like that. I'll take it. Above average. Anything above average, I feel like, is a compliment. So I appreciate
We're 2 weeks away from this guy showing up at, I don't know where y'all are racing in 2 weeks, but let's randomly say like Dover. This guy's going to show up at Dover in 2 weeks and have a mullet and 6 shooters. I mean, like, dude, mullets. Okay, so mullets are back because of Morgan Wallen, and mustaches are back for reasons unbeknownst to man, but I don't know what's happened. We have all of a sudden dropped into 1982.
Yeah, and I'm okay with it. I feel like I missed my time anyway, so I'm just trying to bring it back. I wasn't around in the 80s, but I kind of wish I was, to be honest.
I feel that way about the 70s. If I could have been like 31 years old in 1977, I think I would have been dead square in time and space perfection for me.
Man, yeah, everybody wishes they could be in a different decade.
Pulling the tabs off of my Schlitz. Do what, Wes?
Everyone wishes they could be from a different decade. Like, I'm with Chase, man. I feel like I missed out on the 80s. I feel like technology was a new thing. It was cool. It was fun, but it wasn't Skynet where it's already taken over our lives like it has today. Like, I would...
What is Skynet?
Terminator.
Oh, hell, I don't know what that...
I didn't... I mean, I'm glad that I wasn't the only one that didn't know what that meant.
I'm fearless. Oh, Wonder Woman just showed up. I wish they would come in here so you guys could see. A lady is dressed like Wonder Woman walking down the sidewalk, and she's got Captain America with her. Damn. What is going on around here?
I want to know, Chase, what would it take for you to grow a mullet? If you won the championship this year, would you grow a mullet?
To be honest with you, I'm just not much on the mullet game. I'm really not. I can get behind the mustache operation, but the mullet deal, I think that's a stretch for me personally. I mean, that's just me.
Your sponsors just let out a huge sigh of relief.
I mean, I don't know. Our sponsors have been pretty cool. I mean, they haven't given me any backlash on it. I mean, I've had some different looks, I feel like, over the last few years, and they've been pretty cool about them all. So I think they would be okay with the mullet. But for me, I'm not sure that it's my game.
Same. I mean, I had one when I was a little kid. There's a photograph of me boarding a Piedmont Airlines airplane with my daddy. He took me down from Roanoke, Virginia to see my beloved Atlanta Braves play the St. Louis Cardinals. Now, this was the St. Louis Cardinals with Jack Clark, Ozzie Smith, Willie McGee, Andy Van Slyke, all them guys, okay? And it was the Braves with Bob Horner and Rafael Ramirez and all those super old school guys. I'm on a podcast right now with a bunch of, like, the average age on this podcast other than me is like 30. So I'll just shut up now. You guys have never heard of any of these people. Anyway, I had a mini truck mullet, and I had on a U.S. Chess Federation t-shirt that was super duper unfortunate and some terrible booty shorts. It was just, I don't know what the hell I had going on. My dad let me go out in public like that. All right, a minute ago, you were talking about like you should have been born a long time ago. You're definitely an old soul. And that's one of the things I love the most about you is your willingness to like be introspective and say what you mean. And you said something the other day after you won Atlanta. By the way, congratulations. Hell, we're 5 minutes into this thing. We haven't even congratulated you yet.
No, it's okay. Yep. Thanks.
That
Way to go.
I thought was so like beautifully poignant that you felt like it would be a disservice to try to encapsulate and define what you just accomplished, because you're a guy that grew up, like literally started racing on the bull, started your career on the bull ring in that place, running those Bandolero cars. Running Legends, whatever it was, right?
Yeah.
Well, now you've had like 36 hours to process. I imagine you've probably climbed a couple Blue Mountains over the past couple nights. If you haven't, I'm super damn disappointed in you.
Definitely. No,
So,
no,
so
that box has been checked.
good. What are the emotions now that you've had a minute to sit there and go, I have won at home?
Yeah, I think, for me, I've watched other drivers over the years, win at their home tracks, and I think when racing's different, right? It's not like you have home games and away games, but I guess that's kind of as close to a home game as you get, and not all drivers have that, right? And especially nowadays, a lot of guys live in Charlotte or are from. It seems like a bunch of guys are kind of from that area. Or they're from California. I feel like it's one of the two, either from the Carolinas or they're from California. But for me, I've watched that happen, and I think you always can recognize that when something means a lot to someone. But I'm not sure you fully understand it until you get in the arena and you go to battle at a place that's literally an hour from my house, and you show up to the track and like. I don't know what the percentage was of people wearing 9 hats, but it was a lot, and it was a lot more than you normally see. So, when you feel like it's a home game, it just has a special meaning to you. I've spent a lot of time, as you mentioned, driving down there, and my mom, dad, and I drove back and forth to Atlanta Motor Speedway to go race on the quarter mile there, every summer there for 2 or 3 summers, racing once a week, and those are memories I'll always cherish. And I wish my parents had been there yesterday because that was a journey that I encountered with them, and they've always kind of gone to the Atlanta race, and unfortunately that was the first one they'd missed in a while. But yeah, just a special moment. Probably doesn't seem like a huge deal to a lot of people, but I don't know, when you're in that environment and you feel that energy and you feel like the crowd is, I don't want to say yours, but certainly carrying a lot of energy for wanting us to do well. I see that, and I recognize that, and it makes you feel good, and it makes you want to make those people proud, and no better way than to do it like we did. I mean, I feel like everything that went our way on Sunday, and that's typically not the case. I don't take those days for granted.
I feel like it's different for you, though. And here's why. Yes, some guys have gone and won at their home track. A lot of guys have. And it's a beautiful thing because that's maybe what the manifestation of those dreams. But the difference for you is, Wes could maybe even speak to this better than I can because I don't live in Georgia. I'm not a Georgia boy. But you not only grew up there, you didn't leave there. You stayed there, and you embraced that, and you're damn proud to be from there and to still live there. And so I bet in that state, there's a very unique appreciation for the fact that you chose to do that. So I feel like your constant daily narrative of championing your home state and your hometown for that matter has to resonate on a little bit deeper level. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely does for me. I mean, does everybody recognize that? Does everybody know, that I still live here? I don't know, but yeah, for me, I'm certainly very proud of that. And I think another really cool piece of the puzzle is, the Braves organization, University of Georgia, and we had our trophies together a couple weeks ago at the College Football Hall of Fame, and the fans, for one, those two organizations have just kept me and our team a small piece of the family here, which I am very grateful for, and I think that's super cool because they don't have to do that, and we're not baseball and we're not football, right? So, but for them to recognize what home means to me, and at the end of the day, I'm just a fan too. Like I'm just a big Braves fan and a big Georgia fan like everybody else, So, yeah, it is really cool, and certainly proud, proud of where I'm from, proud, to be here, and for pretty simple reasons. I just like the area. It's not like it's this
You're just
deep.
I gotta stay.
Yeah,
damn it.
Yeah, like I just, like I don't know. It's it's not super deep. I just like the area, and that's really it. So, and I would say probably a lot of people live where they live because, they might like the area, and that's really no different for me. So, but yeah, been a special couple days. One I'm certainly going to enjoy, and just a big weekend. Like I said, I mean, to get both stages and to have a max points day, and those things are really hard to come by nowadays with the way our racing is. So, yeah, just trying to ride the wave, man. Been a good few weeks, but we need to, ride it best we can and keep it rolling.
Yeah, Georgia is the greatest state in the universe, no doubt about it. A lot of great things going on in sports, and
I try to tell people that, but you don't want to tell too many people that. Like we want to be proud, but like we don't want to invite everybody.
That's right.
Either,
yeah, Georgia sucks. Don't come down here.
Yeah, the people that understand, good, and those out there that don't and don't want to, that's fine. We're good with that.
Chase, there's been so much parity in the sport this season. Up until recently, you've started to dominate a little bit here. You're going on a little bit of a run. It's the back half of the schedule of the season. How hard is it to continue that momentum in this part of the year as you go down that home stretch? But when you're in the car, do you feel something different right now with the momentum that you have, or do you even believe in momentum in the sport?
Momentum's I feel like a unique word in our world. I find it difficult to carry momentum when you have it sometimes, just because I feel like each race that you go to, each track that you go to is almost a different book. It's a bit of a different story, like how do you have a good run at Road America and then go to Atlanta the next week, which is just a completely different ball game, and be like, yeah, we're going to be just as good this week as we were last week. Like, that's difficult for me.
And a new track.
I look at the reality of it, and I'm like, there is nothing to compare, from those two places. So, certainly from the standpoint of your confidence being up, I think that's a great thing. But you can also get humbled really fast too. And I know, like this week, for instance, come off of a good run at Atlanta, which is basically a super speedway now, and now we're going to Loudon, which is a flat 1 mile racetrack that has zero similarity to Atlanta or Road America or Nashville, for that matter. So you try to carry those things forward best you can, but you also recognize that it's just different. And like I said, try to ride the wave. You really want to peak in the last 10, so I hope we're not peaking right now. We want to peak a little later, because this deal pays in October and November. So we want to be alive there when it counts.
What's the best piece of advice you've ever gotten?
Oh man!
I mean, you think about. I'm gonna speak a minute while you think about this, because that's a hard question to answer. For those of you watching or listening who don't know, all right. So, Chase, when he came to the Cup Series, took over Jeff Gordon's race car. One of the most famous, most successful race cars ever. His father is a Hall of Famer, a champion, $1 million bill. His teammates teammates with Jimmy Johnson, 7-time champion, won 83 races at the highest level, on and on and on. So he's been around the greatest of the greatest of the greatest during his life and career. So, I mean, you've been in meetings with these people. Hell, you've been at the dinner table with these people. Like I can't imagine some of the unique nuggets of information and insight you've gleaned. And I just wonder if there's one or two that stick out, or a story you could share that really had an impact on you from that perspective.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I've been very, to your point, I've been around a lot of people who have just had so much success in the sport, and not just success in the sport, but just, life and really good quality individuals. And I don't know that there's ever been like a one-liner that just changed my life. Like, I'm not sure I've ever been one of those people that just had this line said to me and I just completely changed my reality and my approach on life because of it. For me, I feel like I've always been more of a learn from example kind of guy. And I had a really unique perspective on racing, on life, got to just see a lot of different perspectives of this world at a very young age. And I think I had the ability to see people and multiple individuals who just do life the right way, in my eyes. And when you recognize that and you see that, I feel like you just start to take note of, what is right, what is wrong, how somebody can lead, and lead by example. Like I don't know. For me, it's more just recognizing the folks that, in my eyes, do things the right way, and have had success on track, sure, but probably more so just the importance of how they've led their lives off the track, and how those two things can bleed together, as well. So I'm not sure. I need to do some thinking on that. I get that question quite often, and
It's hard.
I never really have a good answer for it. But yeah, I've just got to witness a lot of really good individuals live their lives and do it the right way, and just have a lot of respect for that. Not sure I've always made the right decisions myself, but certainly, certainly witnessed a lot of good.
You're doing all right, dude.
I go back to a couple years ago. I mean, it's an unlikely place for a driver, I guess, but you love the Dawgs, and you gave credit to Kirby Smart for the way he leads Georgia, and I think he's learned from some pretty good leaders too. But there's a lot to be said for just watching people. I think you can pick out quotes and you can pick out little pep talk phrases and one-liners and everything, but watching really is a great way to pick that up. You mentioned Georgia, you mentioned the Braves. I think they're smart to hitch their wagons to you as a super fan for both teams. I think people love collaborations across different sports, and it's really cool for me as a Georgia guy to see that. And I know a lot of Dawgs and Braves fans feel the same way. The ESPYs have Georgia and the Braves up for the best team of 2022. And I asked my followers to pick, and I know it's a really hard thing to do, but when you think about which team was better, a lot of people have different definitions of this, but which one, if you had to pick, do you feel like was the better team?
Oh, man, that is tough. Last year, you're talking about? Yeah. Man, that is a really, really difficult one. I would probably say the Braves, and I think the reason for that is just the way they closed out their season, and the things that they, not to say Georgia didn't overcome injuries and things of that nature, but I mean, you had Acuna out last year. You lost like 2 or 3 of your starting pitchers going into the World Series. Lost
Morton.
One of them after game one. Like, I don't know. I just think there was a lot to overcome right there. And the way baseball is, baseball is such a unique sport, and playoff baseball is one of my favorite, might be my favorite thing ever to
It's
watch,
awesome.
just from a sports standpoint. The intensity of the World Series, and the NLCS, and like just watching all those series go down. Getting hot at the right time in that sport might be more crucial than any other sport there is. But yeah, for them to be, right at barely at 500 at the All-Star break, and then to overcome the injuries they overcame and go on to, to win the whole thing, that was an impressive few months, in my opinion.
Yeah, people have different
big time.
definitions. Like, is the better team the more dominant team? Because that would be Georgia. Or is the better team the better story? And a lot of people, replying to me, had the same cases laid out and then would pick a different team. So I thought that was interesting. But obviously they were both great.
And too, I mean, I don't want to take away from from Georgia, but I think the Braves were probably a little more balanced, from a team, and they had great power hitters down the stretch. Had amazing bullpen efforts going on there throughout the World Series. I mean, I feel like Georgia, obviously a great team and could score points, but to me, their strong suit was on defense, not as much offense. And you take that defense off the field, and the national championship probably doesn't go the same way it did. So I think probably a better balanced team, in my opinion, down the stretch.
Hard to have a better story than a guy who decided to leave school and then come back to school to achieve his childhood dream as the quarterback for I mean, Stetson Bennett told me last year, I did an interview with him, and he goes, all I ever wanted to do, my childhood dream was to run out of that damn tunnel onto that grass. That's all I ever wanted. And now he'll never buy another alcoholic beverage in that damn state as long as he's breathing. All right, we'll get you out of here on this. I go to a lot of Eric Church shows. Everybody that knows anything about me knows this. Invariably, I get hammered. And when Chief plays Talladega, a fan always hands him a 3 flag from the pit. Well, a lot of the time, they also hand him a 9 flag. And since I'm hammered, that means it's FaceTime with Chase.
100%.
It is one thing to see your number at the racetrack, all those 9 hats, T-shirts, and whatnot. But when you see a guy that you admire as much as you admire Eric Church, holding up your name, your number, your identity, your passion, your life's work during such a personal moment between him and the 20,000 people that are there, what's that tell you?
Well, I just, glad he doesn't throw it back in the crowd, throw it on the ground. But no, I mean, 2 things, right? One, it takes a passionate fan to carry my flag to one of his shows. Obviously, probably someone that knows that I'm a fan of his. And secondly, he doesn't. I'm sure he picks and chooses which ones he picks up and which ones he doesn't. So, never met the guy, just admire his work and love his music. Feel like he's, really paved the way for music of this generation, of just being different. And like I said, don't know him, but from the outside looking in, seems like he lives his life, much to your point, like some other guys you referenced, the right way. And you can see that. I think you can recognize that even from the outside looking in. So, very meaningful to me, and always enjoy those phone calls. So don't worry. No matter what time it is on Saturday night, you're more than welcome.
Poor Chase. I mean, he's trying to. He's got a race the next day. I'm blowing his ass up on the FaceTime
I usually
machine.
stay up too late anyway, so it's all good.
Don't you owe Chase to take him to a concert still? Have you
Yes,
fulfilled that one yet?
I want everybody to know about this. So I went to a concert. This was the first time in my life. I had these plans. My buddy called me and was like, hey, let's go to this concert. I'm like super excited, whatever. Got done at the track one day. We had a test at Charlotte, and there was this concert in Greenville, South Carolina, and I was, super excited to go. Get like halfway there. Well, my friend calls me and decides that he's not coming anymore. So I went to my first concert by myself.
Damn.
I stood by myself in the back of this room, and I had a great time. I want you to know I had a ball. It was good. I stood there, my first ever attended concert solo. If you've never done that, you really probably should. It was a good soul finding moment for me. I mean, if you've never been to one, I'm sure everybody's been to a concert, but like actually went and stood there by yourself and just enjoyed the music. It's good. It's good. I had a blast.
Well, I'm the worst friend ever. I tried to pretend all day long like I didn't feel like I was gonna die.
No,
And
it's all good.
I got to the point where I was like, I don't care, I'm just gonna go. And I'm talking to Lainey about it, and she's like, you just gotta go. And I'm like, but what if I'm like for real sick? Like, what if I don't want to like I'm a hugger and I don't know, whatever. So I bailed out of it and I called Chase. I'm like, hey man, I didn't even have to get it. I didn't even have to get the words out of my mouth. And he goes, oh no. So I owe you one. And
no, it's all good. I really and truly though, I had a good time. Like it was fun. I hung out with the sound guy back there, and we, I watched him do his thing on the the keyboard there and run the show. It was cool. I had a good time. It was all good. No worries.
Well, the next time is going to be a whole different experience. You have my word. I don't care.
No worries. I believe you.
I don't care if I'm dying. I don't care if I got a half a leg. I don't care if I tear my ACL at this damn basketball tournament on Saturday.
Which is a real possibility. I'm pretty sure I tore both my quads last week. I'm in a men's league softball team here. And I took off for first base last week, hit just a terrible hit, like all of them, ground ball, just barely got through the middle, so I'm having to run it out, of course. And I had to call in a runner. I couldn't make it the second. It was a bad deal. Rough.
Did you ever see me catch that ball Blaney kicked last year during LaJoy's charity kickball tournament?
I don't think so. No.
So I'm standing there at third base, and I've told myself, walking in the door, I turned to Cameron, my son. I said, listen, boy, I'm not playing hero ball today. I'm not legging out any singles. I'm not running hard. I'm not going to, because I just don't, I got to get out of here unscathed. I got to support my friend and leave it at that. Well, I'm minding my business at third base. Cheated up a little bit. And I find, okay, here's the video evidence. Travis has it. And I dive and I catch Blaney's line drive down the third base line. And instantly I knew that my shoulder came out of socket. I've separated my shoulder
Goodness.
from my collarbone. And here, over there, come running Blaney, Corey, all these guys. And I said, get the hell off. Don't touch me, you son of bitches. I'm
Like
hurt.
Matthew Stafford in that Lions clip. Don't touch
They
me.
looked at me and they were like, dude, are you okay? You are white as a sheet. I said, no, I'm not okay. I just told you I'm not okay. Let me just walk. Just get the hell away from me. And so God, I can't, I just got to not get hurt at this basketball tournament. That's my whole goal.
I'm with you. I mean, when I play second there on our team thing, and I mean, if it's a decent shot my way, I mean, odds are I'm not getting in front of that thing. I mean, like, I'm sorry. Like I told the boy who's playing right, I'm like, if there's a grounder hit towards second, you might as well just go ahead and start running over, because man, I don't know that I'm going to get in front of one that's hit very hard.
Just wear your
your racing
just wear your
helmet.
helmet that you wear in your car. You'll be protected.
Dehydrate
Need a
in
helmet
10
and a
minutes.
cup. Sure.
Got to make sure you protect that mustache. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get him out of here. And I just got to show you one thing for those of you watching before we leave. I went on the Chase Elliott store last night on chaseelliott.com. And I need you to look at what they're selling here on the chaseelliott.com. They are selling a T-shirt that has Chase Elliott's aviator shades and his poor man's Wyatt Earp.
Market that stash,
Handlebar
baby.
mustache.
Market that thing.
Hey man, it's in.
The free
Yeah.
enterprise market. Hey, I'm proud of you, man. I appreciate your
Appreciate
time so much. We know how busy you are, and thanks for taking so much time.
Thanks, Chase.
And I can't wait to take you to a concert. I can't wait, just so I can get it off my damn conscience.
Well,
Appreciate
don't injure yourself at your kickball deal. That'll better our odds.
you. I'm gonna do my very best.